Welcome everyone to the Truth Table, episode 98.5. It's starting to sound like a radio station now. But I have special guests. I'm going to be cramming shows in this weekend because my premium ends Sunday. So I want to take advantage of what time I do have and get as much information to you as possible. My guest today, Jason Estey. You may have heard of him. Estey, and he's let's see now. I'm going to screen share so you can see his YouTube. There he is, right here. So you can find his videos, which has a lot of his speeches, and Jason Truth. So I look forward to our discussion together, and maybe we can find some answers together.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Having met with the owners of Canada over the course of the campaign last several months, it's not for sale, won't be for sale ever.
It's not for sale ever. I don't know. Do you believe him, Jason? Welcome, Jason, to the Truth Table.
I believe it. That's one thing I can believe carbon tax Kearney on is they can never say that Canada is for sale, our politicians. No
Never.
way, and it never will be. It's my thoughts.
What do you think Kearney thinks about the Canadian Bill of Rights?
Thank you for asking, Paul. They are scared to death, it seems, in my opinion, to discuss that miraculous piece of legislation. And I know, Paul, you've listened to politicians a lot more than I have. I'll ask the question back at you. Do you hear these politicians discussing the Canadian Bill of Rights very much? Or do they try to pump up the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms instead?
Yes. That's true. So why?
And there's a simple reason for that. We show as us activists, Paul. And Jane Scarf, I always want to give her credit. She lives in Ottawa, and I don't know if you've interviewed her, Paul, or hopefully you know who she is. You could tell your audience and answer me later. But she let the cat out of the bag, researching our amazing Canadian Bill of Rights, what it stands for, that it shows our human rights and fundamental freedoms are inalienable. It literally says it. I had a shirt, and I used to give it out to audiences, and it says your human rights and fundamental freedoms are inalienable, so you can't even give them away. Whereas the Charter, just one of the many differences, it doesn't even say human rights, Paul, and every word in these documents, as Jane says, means something, right? And Jane is a paralegal. So they say rights, right? And they got, the Charter's got flowery language, your rights and freedoms are protected. But then later it says can be taken away on reasonable limits, right? If a judge, he or she thinks they have a good enough reason. And just real quickly on the Charter, it has no power unless you invoke it, as I say in my speeches. But you got to appear before a judge who's appointed by the government, paid by the government, answers to the swamp. Just look at Section 1. It's a communist-friendly document. Whereas our amazing Canadian Bill of Rights, 1962, John Diefenbaker, before my time, but obviously he really, cared about this country. He put in that amazing legislation. It's almost just as steadfast and powerful as the U.S. Bill of Rights. It's just not, I don't think, as concrete when it comes to property rights. But I mean, you read that thing and you read it off in speeches or have it memorized like I try to do. It is so empowering, and that's why people hop on board. And the government does, apparently, unfortunately, they don't want you to be educated on that. But that's okay. More Canadians every day are getting aware of this and asserting their rights properly,
Mm-hmm. So tell me what you think about the forest fires.
Can you speak up, Paul? Sorry, we're having member problems with the audio. Thank you.
Tell me about the forest fires.
You live in Canada, right, Paul?
Yes, sir.
Whereabouts are you, may I ask?
Niagara Falls, Ontario.
Beautiful Niagara Falls. Wow, awesome, dude. Thankfully, no forest fires will ever be that way. But I'm convinced as I'm sure anybody that has researched and looked at these forest fires and using reason, logic, common sense, and our own eyes, the government's got to be profiting, unfortunately, from these forest fires. And Dr. Shiva, who I'm hoping to interview, Paul, back in 2015, as I've stated, he talked about us Canadians. You know, he's got one of our freedom leaders is Glenn. I'm hoping to interview him as well. Hopefully I'll get back on Dr. Shiva's platform. He wanted to become one of the leaders. And it was the carbon tax, Paul. Back then, the carbon tax was on consumers, as you know, and they wanted the naive people, as Dr. Shiva said in so many words, to pay the carbon tax and think, oh my God, it's global climate change causing all these forest fires. I'll be happy to pay the carbon tax. Oh, now I got to charge my phone. Jeez, look, my phone just went dark. One second.
Wow. There we go. All plugged in. Do you think they might be just making room to take over the land? Because Montreal doesn't spray glyphosate.
I just got the I think the battery's okay. Excuse me. My screen went dark. One sec.
Okay.
Land grab. Yes, I think, Paul, part of it, you tell me if you agree or disagree. One sec here, sir. Think about immigration, okay? Think about, and I always tell people, look this up. I learned from, the YouTube channel Northern Perspective. They have the most subscribers of any political channel, Paul. You'd be amazing on there as a guest. It's called the Century Heritage Initiative, okay? Century Heritage Initiative. Now, what is it? They've got, 12 billionaires on the board, on the panel. They change faces every now and then. But they're just billionaire misanthropic money whores, it seems. One of the women on the board, a woman, owns one of the biggest telecommunication IT companies in the world. One of the men on the board owns one of the biggest lumbering companies. Yes. Now, here's the important point to know. Literally, they tell you, Googling it, they tell you, and on they have this beautiful propaganda video. They want their crazy idea. They want 100 million people in Canada at the end of the century. So what, 70, 75 years from now? So how do you get there? Well, I would argue, don't you need massive infrastructure? And to have the massive infrastructure, how convenient, where I would think you would need millions of acres in strategic parts of Canada. And apparently carbon tax Carney, Paul, a lady friend of mine, I bet she would be absolutely correct because she knows her stuff. She said Carney has one of his companies, she probably named the company, I wish I knew it, builds modular homes. So she's convinced they'll build a lot of modular homes. We'll see how that plays out. And finally, Paul, follow the money. Carbon tax Carney just made that lumber deal all over the news. And I'm trying to find out, I'm not a lumber guy, I'm not a business guy, but I just found out why the lumber triples in price. So who's going to make the money? It's going to be a very small group. Let's keep track. And who's in charge of building up from one of the major forest fires in Jasper? Kirk Reese and I just talked about it briefly. He didn't know Randy Wassenaw, Paul, the man that claimed, the liberal, that he was native with no native DNA. And he's in charge, one of the guys in charge of building, oh no, fuck.
It's bad. It's terrible. And Quebec doesn't spray glyphosate, and they have no fires. So I don't know if that's relative, whether it's the glyphosate that's actually helping the fires go. It's supposed to be fire retardant, but the glyphosate is so concerning to me. They found it in all fast food restaurants, tested positive for it, like all of them. So it's in everything, on the food. Of course it would be on the food if they're spraying it from the air. But what it affects is people's ability to make decisions. Critical thinking is gone. And so that's a big concern for me, as it should be for everyone, really. But I mean, I will tap into as much as I can in order to be informed. And I'm also willing to be corrected because I'm not always going to be right. I don't see myself as always right, because I wasn't right. As the truth is uncovered for me, I have revelations in my thinking. And, not being able to change your mind and being offended by new information that shows that you've been lied to, it's very uncomfortable. It's very, there's a lot of emotions that happen, like someone cheating on you. It's very heartbreaking. And so everyone has to go through that process, and we really need each other as a comfort, as to get through that process. And that's where we need the healing. And I know my stream is ending in well, tomorrow. I guess is my last day for premium, which is fine. It's okay. This show isn't intended to go forever. It was intended to be archived information that will empower, hopefully, or at least reach the ears of someone in power who does care. I know, I speak to you. I don't just speak to the victims of what has happened to us in the last 5 years. I'm speaking to you as well in the seat of power. Now, I understand your positions as well, that you risk losing your job, as all the whistleblowers did. There's Candace on Sunday's show. I'm going to try to get her on before the stream is over, because I won't even have my logo anymore at that. It's very expensive to have a logo, believe it or not. It's well beyond my wealth, but I have been paying for this because I believe in this. It comes out of my own money. I don't ask for any money. I'm not asking for donations. But I mean, you can go to my Patreon, you can subscribe and buy the information, download it so it's archived. And that's really the whole point, is archiving information that you do need or that you think someone else needs. But speaking to the people in power, our country is being stolen from us. And we have a big problem here. Apathy is being bred, and apathy is like the last stage of a falling country. I don't want my country to fall. And I'm also sad with the police force. They are totally 100% willing to crack down on us, stomp on us, for not obeying orders. They are just ripe and ready for martial law. And there's too many police officers that have this lust for power, that are just narcissists, that like to get their frustrations out on someone that may or may not be guilty. I know. I've been beaten by 6 police officers. What they did was they tricked me into walking into a hallway. Guests had to leave your room by 11 o'clock, and they were there 11:15, and they were preparing to leave, but the police showed up. They left. They were a little bit tipsy. They asked if they could bring their beer. I don't know if that upset the police officers or not, but they left. A fellow piano player and another mutual friend were just all there having some beers, and they left peacefully. Then the police officer, as I was shutting my door, put his foot in my door, and he said, can we talk to you in the hallway for a second? And I said, why? And he persisted, so I went into the hallway. Right away, I got grabbed from behind, chokehold until I was unconscious. But before I went unconscious, the guy in front of me started hitting me with a baton, like in my stomach for some reason. But I wasn't aggressive. I was just the way I am right now. Just talking normal. Even when I'm drinking, I don't get belligerent. So they assaulted me for no reason at all. What they did, as soon as I walked in the hall, they charged me with intoxicated in public. And I wasn't drunk. I was okay, but I wasn't drunk. I don't get drunk. I don't drink that much. And and they put me in jail overnight. I came back to my room. My $1,000 Raymond Wheel Switzerland watch was gone. So I'm not, and nothing happened to them. And this is 6 police officers working together, committing a crime together, assaulting me, and I will never forget that. I forgive them, but my concern is for all the other Canadians out there that they may do the same thing too. Because they can make excuses, they can lie, but they're willing to do it together. They're willing to break the law together, so they have this pact that worries me a lot. And we saw it in Ottawa when they were beating, protesters and stomping on them like they just killed a dog or something, their dog. And, we were manipulated a lot. We were, hopefully Jason will be able to pop back in. I'll check my messages. I don't know if he lost his signal or what have you, but he does have a lot to say, and I guess I do too. I'm going to use up my 2 days. I'm not limited, with 1 hour or 2 hours, but after tomorrow, when Sunday starts, I'll have 2 hours for a month, no logo. I won't be 1080 high definition anymore. So, and at my age, it's okay to be a little blurry, I don't mind being blurry. But I don't know what's been going on lately. The last couple of days, I've been experiencing a headache, a lot of pain, even in bed, like my hips, my bones. I don't know if anyone else is feeling this way, but I hope it's not just me. I hope this is like something. This isn't just me getting old, but it's some kind of like weapon, or not that I hope it's that, but it seems like it, because there's no reason. I'm not drinking or anything, so I'm not hungover. There's no reason for a headache. I'm eating. So, is it possible I'm under attack? Absolutely. I've been thinking that from the beginning, because I know what happens to people who tell the truth. I know the repercussions. I know people will lose their jobs. I know there's good people in government. I know there's good people in the police force. But what are they going to do when the other 6 guys commit a crime because they don't like someone's look? I'm nothing to look at, but I mean, if they're, what I mean, they just wanted to hurt me for no reason. My guests left. There was no reason for them to be there. And the worst part is being carried through the lobby, because I woke up as they were carrying me through the lobby. This happened in St. Catharines, actually. And I would love to charge these guys, because, what they did was wrong. They put this, record on me, this criminal record, drunk in public. I wasn't drunk. I was in my right outside the door of my hotel room. I wasn't yelling and screaming and causing any problems. There was absolutely no reason for them to behave that way. They were all supposedly sober, right? I don't think the police can get drunk or drugged up during their shifts. So what happened to me opened my eyes about what they're capable of. The convoy showed me what they're capable of. I don't believe we have elections anymore. I don't think the Dominion voting machines should be allowed. I don't think mail-in ballots should be allowed federally. I don't think Doug Ford should be buddy-buddy with the Liberals. Liberals, to me, are the worst... what's the word? I know the scourge of the planet, like the left became in the United States. They're a scourge. They cheat, lie. They brought all these people in, gave them more than they give our own veterans on disability. I mean, person with a job, they get $14,000 more than someone with a job, like just a regular job, not like a government job or anything. $14,000 more, and they don't have to work. This is them sitting on their butt. So this is an army. This is a war against us. Glyphosate is a war against us. Poison in our food, our children's cereal, is a war. Our government has declared war against us, but it's a soft kill war. The glyphosate will make it so people don't know what to do. They won't be able to make decisions for themselves anymore. It is stripping them, but not only people. This will affect the fish, the animals in the forest. It will screw them all up. They won't know what they're doing. They won't go back to their nests. I mean, it is a meltdown of a societal and physical meltdown of our country. So what do? We have the whistleblowers. Now we have Palantir, and I can't remember the Canadian. There's a Canadian spy thing that can get in the back doors. So they have the capacity. CSIS and whatever spy agencies we use. I think we also use Mossad. I think Israel has infiltrated Canada as well as the U.S. So, we're at the stage where we're really backed against the corner. They have all these spying apparatuses to be able to confirm all the whistleblowers, confirm the crime against humanity with the COVID shot and the mask. And they have all the information needed to throw all these people in behind bars. I don't want a death penalty, okay? That's just me. That's my faith. I do not believe in the death penalty. And but if they are spying on us, and they are, that means they can shut down all crime, all the fentanyl labs, everything. They could make Canada safe again, but they don't. They don't use it for that. They use it against the whistleblowers. They use it as a weapon against us instead of enhancing our lives, enhancing our future. We are due a renaissance. There's so many inventions that get shut down. They're not allowed. Cars that run on water. Cold fusion that could have cars floating in the air. We won't even be touching the roads. You never have to replace roads again. All this technology has been around for a very long time. But, these are evil people. I'm not going to say this is the devil. I think spirits in spiritual worlds are in spiritual worlds doing spiritual things. They can't touch us. They can't, appear before us. And if you do, then you probably should lower your medication. It is possible to hallucinate. So, nevertheless, we have, our potential has been stolen. I have seen over the last 50 years, and I'm in my 30s, it's hard to tell. Okay, my volume is very low. That's what I heard. I'm going to try something. All right, tell me if that helped, because I think my cord's just old, and it's not the mic. It would be the cord. Is my volume better? Anybody? Everybody? So where was I? I will even turn up my. I just want to make sure I'm maximum on here, and I've got a signal. I'll turn the music off if that helps. That might help too. Jason, I'm going to guess his phone died. Human nature for people in power. Yes. Ultimate power corrupts ultimately. If you guys want to join me, why don't you join me? I'll put the link. I'll put the link. Why not? We'll have a conversation. I mean, I could talk all day, but I mean, Jason can't come back. Let me see if I can just put the link in the Facebook, and anybody can join. Kirk or Jay or Anthony, just join us. Join me. And because I'm not going to give up. I've got 2 days of this stream, and I'm going to use it up. It doesn't mean the truth table is gone. It just means I won't have the polished look, the high definition. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because really we've got the whistleblowers. Talk to nurses, uh, you know, people that were affected by the last couple of years. Is the volume good? On data at oh yeah, you can't join? That sucks. Yeah, you should be able to, shouldn't you? I don't think it will use data, but okay. All right, I just want to make sure you can hear me. Because I know Jason couldn't hear me, and I think it was just I needed to unplug and replug in my microphone. But I left a link on Facebook. I see you're on YouTube, so let me go to YouTube and leave a link there too. Let's see. Okay, I will do it on the live on YouTube. I don't usually do this, but I think it's awesome to just be spontaneous. Yeah, my volume's fine. I can hear myself great. Just be spontaneous. Yeah, that's great. Super duper. Let's see. I think that works. If you can, I would love it if you came on, Anthony. I don't know what data means. You don't have data. But yeah, I just turned on my YouTube and I can hear myself fine. I don't need to be loud. I don't want to be too loud either because I've noticed that quite a bit. So we've had Kirk Reese on here 8, 9, 10 times, and nothing happens. He's reached out to everybody, to try to get remedy. Nothing works. But he's not alone. And all I've done, really, the service I've done is just get firsthand testimonies of these people so people are aware of what's going on. I told you a story about getting beat up by the police, and anyone who knows me knows there's no reason for a police officer to be violent with me. I don't provoke violence. I don't disrespect anyone. Even if I don't like someone, like if, someone just rubs you the wrong way, I still treat them with respect. I do try to exit the conversation if possible because I know I'm not, my spirit is upset. But the people that are doing this to us are either compromised, bought off, or they've got like videotape of them. This is how Mossad has got the power that they got. They got the judges, the lawyers, the movie stars, the rock and roll singers, the everywhere that you can, so they can get them. And look at all of them pushing the vaccine during COVID. All the movie stars. What the hell? They're not doctors. They have no value, to the conversation. They're not qualified. I'm not qualified, but I know I can look up what's inside of it. I can look up the ingredients, and I can go one by one by one. See, I did this with rainwater. That's on one of my shows, where I looked at each ingredient of the rainwater, and most of them caused flu-like symptoms. Interesting. Also, lowered your DNA's ability to heal itself. So it was also a soft war. That's what the rain told me. The lithium was a dose that they give to schizophrenics. There was enough lithium in there, in the water, in the rainwater, to medicate to, it was a psychological psychotic drug, antipsychotic, for God's sakes, in the rain. So it doesn't come from the air. All these ingredients that I saw, and you can see it on one of my shows, it's archived. I go through one by one what this does, what that does, what this does. The aluminum was the maximum, it was the most, and that just, that harms your immune system. So it's easy for us to get killed. It's easiest for us to die because we're weakened. So this is upfront, open to me, an act of war to do that. Now, what the government does, it's a military contract, and they hire contractors, airplane companies, and fit them with the shit that they spray. And there's like a plausible deniability. There's like a separation between the government, our money, and the airplanes that are doing it. They could also use drones to do this as well. So it is a worldwide situation. It's happening everywhere. The COVID was a worldwide situation. All these wars were leading up to this point that we're at right now. 2030 is their deadline. Trump is gone in 2029. So that shield of protection, that Trump protection, is going to be gone by 2030. And 2030 is their target. You'll be happy and own nothing. So mRNA, that's what's going to make you happy, because they can, using frequency, they can make you happy, angry, sad, suicidal. They can affect the emotions. That's what that technology is all about. And that's why they want everybody to have it. They want to be able to, they couldn't inject everybody. I think they got about 80% of the population, but that's why they started, injecting the food, the beef and the pigs, and they started injecting the mRNA in there. They put the mRNA in all the childhood vaccines. So this is end game stuff that they're doing. They want to make sure everybody is controllable. So I wish in my journey, my year journey, that there was solutions and that someone would come and save us. I hoped that the good people in government would say enough is enough and start but it really needs to be someone high up to be able to start firing people, and they know that they risk their own life by doing so. So it takes a lot of courage, and I hope God will give these people courage, because we need you. What they plan is a depopulation, and that means people are going to die. They've already, conquered the rest of the world with all these wars based on lies and stealing all the resources of different lands and creating a hell on earth. Since 1953, they took, they overthrew the elected president and installed the Shah of Iran. And they used to wear just like us. They used to wear normal clothes just like we did. Yeah, even ivermectin they've infiltrated. And they've infiltrated everything. They've got the mRNA and the frackin' ivermectin. Doctors weren't even allowed to prescribe it until they put that shit in there. So it's a sad story, I care about all my fellow men. Everybody matters. Even the worst of us matters. But these people aren't demons. Evil is simply the absence of the Creator. That's all that is. Otherwise, we just wouldn't do it. We wouldn't want to harm other people. I don't think I know one Canadian that would have supported any war or financing one bomb, because I think Canadians are good people and they believe in diplomacy, having a conversation. And, if a country is abusing their population that they're governing over, then I would stop trade with them until they stopped. I wouldn't make war with them. That is never a way to deal with something like this. Russia got rid of the Bolsheviks. We call them, also known as the Rothschild non-Jewish Zionists that call themselves Jews, but they're not. But they killed over 20 million people in Russia. They killed the Tsar, the whole family, the Romanov family. They killed them all the kids, the father, the mother, and that was the Tsar, and that was the Bolsheviks, and they merged with Hitler, and Hitler did kick them out, but he let them keep their money, and they basically created Israel with that money with the help of the UK and the USA. So the US and the UK are not friends of our fellow man. They're not. They've harmed a lot of people. They have a lot of blood on their hands, and really sick of them using our money to do it. They overthrew the election in 2014 in the Ukraine, and a lot of bad things are happening there. A lot of bad things. There's a lot of terrible things that I don't even want to talk about on the show, but I'm sure most of you are aware of these things happening to our youngest, our most vulnerable. Things that we would never even dream of doing to our fellow man or to their children. So, I think we lost Jason altogether, and we do have a show coming up, the 100th episode, which is kind of cool that, the stream is ending. The Truth Table might be ending, but we are going to be celebrating our 100th show at 9 p.m. Eastern Time tonight. And I'm trying to get all the original members to join me in celebrating the 100th, which is hard to believe. It's really hard to believe that it's 100, but it's actually more than 100, but I've got like 28 and 28.5, and like Sunday is going to be episode 98 or 99. It's just like when I set or arrange the podcast, it gets a number. So this is like 98.5. Anyway, not important, but it's going to be interesting tonight because Rose Roy, she hasn't been on the show like since the beginning, but she has a lot of information about the Native community. I'm part Native, a Micmac from New Brunswick, and she's going to talk about something that's happening right now, that there's that's going forward, and is an opportunity perhaps to save our country. Will the natives save us? That would be awesome. I would love that. It is the land that they have roots in. They care about this land. They care about the glyphosate being sprayed on it. They know this is a war. And the fact that we have nobody, CSIS, RCMP, are twiddling their thumbs, ready to do martial law whenever the government says, you guys are traitors. You understand that, right? You understand that you could have stopped all of this and you didn't. I'm not going to forget that. I will forgive you, but I will never forget what you've allowed to happen. I'm telling you right now, glyphosate is an act of war. And you're not stopping it, are you? No. Is your paycheck worth losing your fellow man? Betraying your country? It's not. It's not worth it. Most of the whistleblowers on my show lost everything. Some are losing their lives. One of the nurses that got the shot that was safe and effective, she's barely living right now with oxygen mask on. We're not going to forget that. This is on your watch, CSIS, RCMP. This is your watch. You want to come and get me? Come get me. I can take a beating. I'm not scared of you. God is with me. So there's no evil here. There's no hate. Anyway, thank you all for being here. There's going to be multiple shows now in the next 2 days, so I don't know. I hope you all get to see the next one tonight. It's going to be with original members. It's going to be very nice. It's our 100th show together, and who knows what the future holds. I don't see a reason to continue the truth table because the truth is out. It's all there. It's all right there. We have all the Palantir and all these spying apparatus and AI and all that other crap that could basically just blow the whistle on it all and end it. Wouldn't that be freaking amazing? And end all the suppression of technology that could basically just blow everyone's mind. They're like 50 years advanced, and we're just not allowed to have it. We're not allowed to enjoy the bliss of it all. You know? They just got to ruin everything. GMO food, GMO meat, 3D meat. I mean, how is Bill Gates even allowed to? How is he even not in Gitmo? I mean, Bill and Melinda Gates and the Clinton Foundation both funded the Maverick Party in Alberta. Did you know that? Yeah, the Maverick Party. And Tamara Leach, she was communications director who was angry that Trudeau didn't lock us down faster and get the vaccines out faster. It's just the opposite of what most people think. And, that would be controlled opposition. If you're being funded by Bill Gates and the Clinton Foundation, you're not on the right side of history, trust me. No, I personally don't have anything wrong, with the two, but it was a game. We got played. Even the native woman that got ran over by a horse, that was a complete setup. She had no injuries. It was just a big show. She put herself there. She saw the horses coming, and she dropped. It was just unbelievable, the games that have been played against us, just to tug at our hearts and our compassion. The good people are the victims here because they're the ones that are saying, oh my God, that's terrible. But we've been played. We've been played very well. And it is, it's at the end of the game. So eventually they're going to shut me down anyway. Or you won't hear from me again. I understand that. I knew that coming in. I knew I was touching, I was putting my finger on the stove. I understand that. But, anyone who's followed my show knows that I've lost children because of vaccines, and that started my journey. And then, I prayed that I wanted to get the truth about the Creator and learn more, and I just dug into that and started retranslating the original Hebrew, and I found lies, and I was just heartbroken. How could you lie in this book? That's a crime against humanity. To alter that book, it says 3 times in the Bible not to add or take away one word, and they fracking did that. Like King James, over 20,000 alterations. He took books out, but I mean, this guy got his mother. He killed his mother with the Queen of England. They colluded and killed Mary Queen of Scots, his own mother. So this is the guy behind that book. And we have to understand that we have generational lies that go way back. And it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to find the truth because all these people, all these, Tamara Leach and all these other people are part of it. Controlled opposition is very effective. The government wants control, so they want to control the opposition as well. And they pay for it. The spying apparatus is to look in under your rocks. But if there's going to be a spying apparatus, we're the ones that should be able to look at them. It should be the opposite. Because we already don't trust you government officials. We have zero trust in your moral high ground. We know what you're capable of. Doesn't mean we're afraid of you. I'm not afraid of you. You make me sick. Everything you've done, you haven't gotten away with it. God is with all of us. God is a witness. You didn't get away with it. You can go hide in a bunker and God still can find you. You can't hide and you can't run from the Creator. The Creator is a witness. And, thank God for that. I look forward to this ending and mankind being free and evil being removed from mankind. This is what happens in the end. And it's going to be hard getting there, but we're not alone. And just know that we're in this together. There are people that are going to lie. If you want to know who the bad guys are, they're the ones that are going to attack you personally. They're going to attack your character, call you crazy, retarded. They're the ones that are going to mock you. And once you know who they are, block them. They're government. Okay? This is what the government does. They try to destroy your character. They go after your character. And they make sure you don't get famous. That's why my goal is not to be Joe Rogan. Trust me. I don't expect that. But I know the topics that we talk about are important and they're very difficult for good people to hear. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I had to do that. But God really pulled me into this with an open heart and with courage. And it was for you, and you're worth it. You may not know this, but every single one of you out there has value and purpose. And I hope you find it, because we need you to fulfill your purpose. Hope to see you all later. Thank you for joining me at the Truth Table.
Having met with the owners of Canada over the course of the campaign last several months, it's not for sale, won't be for sale ever.